Hello and welcome to another episode of the Recruitment CEO's Insider Guide podcast, the show where we help you dive into strategies, insights to help recruitment business owners thrive. And I'm your host, Katie Green, and today we are going to explore a topic that can make or break your success. It's your mindset. And specifically, we are going to be talking about how self-talk can lead to more success, less stress, and ultimately more progress. And it's a conversation that is critical right now, as many of us are facing many challenges in maintaining a positive mindset in that fast-paced world of recruitment. So I'm delighted to welcome my guest, Penny, who is going to be guiding us through this. So Penny, welcome.
Amazing to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for joining us. So would you mind telling our audience a little bit about yourself and your background?
Yes, I would be delighted to. So mine is Penny Delve. I've been in the world of recruitment for over 20 years. Worked in big agencies, small agencies, ran my own agency as well. And then about 8 years ago, I moved into coaching. I worked and trained with a US firm and then moved into sort of leadership and business coaching, very holistic. So hypnotherapy, mindfulness, positive psychology. And I'm now one of the coaches on the Centered Excellence coaching team.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Penny. So tell us, let's dive in. Let's talk about why mindset matters. So why is mindset so important for recruitment business owners?
Well, mindset is key to success in anything we're doing, but particularly running a business and obviously recruitment, because 95% of what we do is driven by mindset. It's only 5% strategy. And also our external world and our internal world are so related, how we think impacts our actions, so understanding how your brain works, understanding your mindset is absolutely key if you want to have that edge and be successful, but not just being successful, also being very calm and connected and at peace with yourself as well, which you need that balance when you're running a business.
It's so true, isn't it? Mental health as well as mental fitness is absolutely key, isn't it? Because, when you're running a recruitment business, you essentially, it's so important you believe in yourself and your team and your product and the results that you achieve. And, your unconscious mind, as you say, is always listening, isn't it? It kind of seeks to make your world a reality. So, if you're thinking and saying incredibly powerful things when you're running your business, then that can really support you. But if you're not, and it's so easy to get caught up, isn't it, in that self-doubt and overwhelm, and then we can expect a different kind of result.
Yeah, and I think if most business owners of a recruitment or search firm are honest, they are dealing with self-doubt, overwhelm. I'm not sure. How do I do this? I'm not good enough. What will people think? What if I fail? Those are such common things, aren't they, Katie, that are coming up that actually that is all your mindset. And if you're leaning into that and letting that rule you, then that's going to impact how you show up as a business owner, a leader, with your candidates, with your team, with your clients. And as you said, yours and mine, everyone's subconscious brain is always listening. It wants to make our words a truth. So if you say, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, I'm stuck in overwhelm, then your mind's going to go, okay, I'm going to show you how to make that become a truth. If we flip the script and say, I can do it, how do I find a way? This is how I believe in myself, then the mind will make that become a reality. So we can play around with our mindset because our brain is so malleable, which is a good and exciting thing.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's a good and exciting thing. And also then it's like the key thing isn't it, is how you do that. So let's talk about the main challenges around this topic then that we know recruitment business owners are facing right now, or our audience listening in are going to, lean in and say, yeah, okay, I that's me. I definitely can see or hear or feel how that's manifesting itself in my world.
So I guess the challenges are that they're stuck and have those thoughts and maybe not explored them, but also because they're stuck doing the same things day in, day out, and then expecting different results. The market changes, recruitment changes, the world changes, and we do need to adapt as a business owner. to all those different things and adapt how we think and how we show up. And that comes from how we think and feel. So I think a lot of the time the challenges are business owners don't realize that they have to do that inner work, or they don't believe in that inner work, or they think it's woo-woo. But most of the time they just don't know that needs to be a huge part of who they are as a business owner, is to invest in that mental fitness, in that mental health, in that mindset piece.
Yeah, it's so true, isn't it? The sort of misconceptions, like you were saying there about mindset and mindset being woo-woo, the amount of times we hear that, it's like, oh my God, it's not practical. How's that going to help me? It's something abstract. But the reality is top performers across, the industry, whether that's an athlete to, an entrepreneur, they actually, the reality is they use mental rehearsing, don't they? They use specific tools and techniques that actually help them around that, because I see a lot of, and I speak for myself, I don't know about anyone else, but self-doubt is such a big thing, isn't it? It's so easy when things aren't going to plan, to kind of second guess yourself and think, well, maybe I'm wrong, or then that feeling of being pulled in a million directions when you're a recruitment business owner, and it's like, oh my God, I don't even know, where do I start? What should I do first? And then that sense that often I used to find was I get stuck unknowingly, probably in a loop of I'm doing the same thing over and over again. It's that classic, what is it? Einstein, was it, definition of madness is I do the same thing over and over again, and I'm hoping for a different set of outcomes here, or a different set of results. So it's absolutely true what you're saying about these sort of misconceptions that maybe why would I need to spend my time doing some mindset work, or learning about it, or investing in it.
Yeah, and I think I was the same. So when I first learned about the mental rehearsal, which is what athletes use, the visualization techniques, I was like, no, that sounds silly. And I kind of ignored it for a while, even though I was taught that quite early on in my coaching training. And then it's sort of, the more I've looked into it and learned about it, and actually I use the word a lot, mental fitness, rather than mindset. I feel like mindset is thrown out around so much that people kind of get a bit, I don't know, it feels like quite a bland word. When we talk about mental fitness and visualization and the brain and neuroscience, you can get a bit more specific and go, well, what is the power of the mental rehearsal, which is basically visualization? So how can a recruitment business owner use that and copy what an athlete does? So an athlete will use the mental rehearsal for looking at, so let's think about Usain Bolt coming out onto the track. He's not just looking at winning the race, he's looking at, how does it feel as I come out? What can I hear? What can I see? What can I feel? I can hear the crowd. I can feel the wind on my face. I can feel the track under my hands as I do get into the starting blocks. I can hear my own breathing. It's really getting into that detail and then visualizing all those sensory details until winning the race. That's the difference between just visualizing winning. And that's how we can use that as a business owner in recruitment, is visualizing the perfect day. And this is where the brain is very malleable, and we can use that to our advantage, that we visualize getting the results. We visualize how we're going to feel. We visualize being calm. It's very stressful. Recruitment is a stressful, environment. Things are being thrown at us. And that's just the recruiter. If you're running the business, you're taking on so much, wearing different hats, even if you're very good at delegation. So if you can start to visualize yourself feeling calmer, more grounded, you're able then to tackle problems easily. You can find solutions. You can be more creative. You can then support people in the business. So it's very holistic, but actually it's impacting your business and your business strategy and the people around you, which only is going to lead to more success if you're that calm and more connected and grounded person. So that's how I kind of try and explain it to people, that it's about how you show up and how you think, and using visualization to get results, just like an athlete does. Have you ever tried, Katie?
Yeah, I mean, visualization. Yeah, mental rehearsal, visualization is something that I do on a daily basis. So my morning ritual is to take myself to my yoga mat, and in that scenario there on my yoga mat, I have a process that I run myself through. And right now in front of me, I have a vision board that is sitting right
Yeah.
above me, Dare to Dream. And there it is right there about, and this is set for me for the next 6 to 12 months. So, and I know that a picture paints 1,000 words. So exactly as you're saying, and I also know the unconscious mind works in pictures rather than words.
Yes.
So yeah, it's super, super valuable, and powerful work to be done. And you're right. I mean, from my point of view, what's made the biggest difference to me and my results in the years has been all the mindset and self-development work that I've done. Strategy is one thing, but if you don't think you can do something, you know, you're going to live that out. What is it that, again, it might be Walt Disney or Einstein, same thing, isn't it? Think you can, think you can't, you're going to get the same result.
I know. Was that's the whole malleable brain, right? That it's
Right.
it's a bit of a dumb brain in some ways, because if you say I can't do it, it goes, okay, I can't do it. If you say I can do it, it goes, okay, I can do it. Either way, it's going to show you the way to get that result. So we have the power to tell it through visualization, through mental rehearsal, through pictures, through words, what we want to get, and it will do its damn best to make that a reality. Because 90% of our world is driven unconsciously. So only 10% of our conscious mind's in charge. So if we can start to, enable that subconscious mind to work for us by talking to it, say, hey, subconscious mind. And I do that sometimes. If I'm doing a big presentation or a workshop, I'll say, right, subconscious mind, show me how to be the best speaker today. Show me how to speak concisely, to be engaging, to believe in myself, to nail this. And it always, always works. And I'll visualize myself performing in that way. And again, it's just that brain mapping out what I've told it to do. And that's how recruitment business owners, search business owners can start to use their mental fitness in their brain to map out what they want, and it will seek it to become a reality. It's exciting, it's fun, right?
Yeah, well, yes, absolutely. So let's talk about some of the solutions then. Like, what could people do if I am that business owner and maybe I am caught in this overwhelm? Maybe I am seeing myself as in, I don't know, I wake up in the morning and I feel like I'm repeating this pattern. I get up, I wake up, I look at my phone, maybe I feel, the feelings come. I'm not even aware that the thoughts are in my head that are connected to those feelings, and then my behaviors are manifesting itself. Like, what can I do? What's one of the first things that I could do to support myself around that?
Yeah, it's an amazing question. And first of all, there's a gazillion things you can do. And I think that's why it can be overwhelming. So the first thing I always say is be open to learning. Self-awareness is, the first step to change. Because if you resist something, it's not going to happen either. So you have to be open to learn, open to change. So the first thing I would do is always the mobile phone. I think the mobile phone is probably the worst thing. We get sucked into it, adults and children. That's a whole nother podcast topic. You can start your mornings in a powerful way. And I think sometimes people hear morning routine and think, oh, whatever, like 3 hours of meditating and drinking green juice. No, I can't do any of that either. But you can really, really simplify it and say, look, first thing in the morning, I'm going to drink a glass of water. I'm going to write down one intention for the day, 3 things I'm grateful for, and move your body in some way. Like you talked about doing your yoga, you can just do 1 minute of stretching. That tiny routine, which is probably 3 to 5 minutes long, is going to impact your day in a huge way. Because again, talking about the brain, before we go to sleep, first thing in the morning, our brain is really susceptible to kind of intervention with these things. So if the first thing we do is exercise, drinking water, practicing gratitude, that's going to impact us in a huge, huge positively way than if we pick up our phone and start doom scrolling, because it was just mapping our day out to come back to more of what we started with. So I think to start with, it's making it so easy that you can achieve it and you're going to try. And if that means just doing exercise first thing before you pick up your phone, or just writing down one intention for the day before you pick up your phone, make it that easy. Start by doing that. We can always build up on doing these things. Or like you said, it could be visualization. Wake up first thing. How do I want today to be? How do I want to feel? Especially if you've got a difficult conversation with a client or a colleague or a team member, visualize that going the way you want it to get the outcome that you need. And most of all, visualize yourself feeling calm and connected and grounded and in control. Because again, we could go into this for hours and hours, but mental fitness is built on keeping that brain in that very calm state, your central nervous system in the parasympathetic, it's right, isn't it? Yeah.
Correct.
When we're in a calmer state, a parasympathetic, our nervous system, we make better decisions as a business owner. We are clearer in our thinking. We can deal with stress, with problems, with curveballs, all those things that get thrown at us in recruitment and as a business owner. If you invest in your mental fitness, you're going to be able to deal with that in a much easier way and then enjoy your business more. We want our clients, we want people in recruitment, we want them to enjoy running these businesses, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, what you're talking about there, even the simple scenario there of your breathing, absolutely will activate, the slow, deep breaths into your belly will activate your your parasympathetic nervous system, let's get it right, rather than your sympathetic, because the parasympathetic is the rest, digest, and the sympathetic is the fight or flight, which is the cortisol, which is the oh my god, yeah, what do I need to do? My body just goes into that immediate, okay, I've got the saber-toothed tiger coming at me and I need to do something. And your peripheral vision goes down to less than 8% when you're in that situation. So it's no wonder that people have that saying in their head of, oh my god, I can't see the wood for the trees, or oh my goodness, it's literally they're putting themselves into that fight or flight mode where their body is so stressed, and all the blood, is going to essentially the muscles so that they can get ready to run.
Yeah.
So you're right. Their thinking becomes difficult, becomes fogged, it becomes stuck, and actually they don't make the right decisions at that point. So it's so relevant what you're picking up on there, Penny, is even just having that awareness of, how are my what's my emotional set point at the moment, and how am I feeling? And then you're right, because I've got the tools within me, I could do one thing right now, which is I could change my breathing, which will suddenly make you feel totally different, because that changes your state, and your state then changes your thoughts, and then your thoughts then change your emotions, and that changes your actions, and that changes your results. And I think this is often what we miss, is understanding how results are so reflective of, as you're saying, the mindset, isn't it? The thoughts that are going on in our heads.
I think breathing is actually probably the easiest one that you can do. We can all breathe, right? We can all we're doing it right now, we do it all day long. So we've already got the tool, right, to breathe. So a few deep breaths, and I have never had anybody ever who hasn't done 3 deep breaths or 1 minute of just focusing on their breathing with their eyes closed, who hasn't felt a huge shift from doing that, from 1 minute or 30 seconds of changing your breathing or focusing on your breathing. Always, it's guaranteed to give you that amazing shift from sympathetic to parasympathetic, calming that nervous system down. So that is the easiest one.
And okay, so that's a tool that we can use. What else? Is there anything else that you would be recommending for people, like a simple exercise or anything else that could?
So there's other things you can do, which is labeling. Labeling is one of the ones that I love to teach as well. And actually, you can do labeling in situations. You can be in a meeting and feel quite stressed. I've worked with people with panic attacks or massive overwhelm. This is a great one you can do when you can't just run outside and kind of chill out. So you basically just label, use your sight. So again, we're coming back to sensory, kind of anything to do with senses is always going to be really powerful, because that connects us to our vagus nerve and feeling calm. So the labeling would work in a meeting. Say you were feeling stressed or overwhelmed, it's just to start to label what you can see. You don't need to tell people and say it out loud and they think you're a bit of a nutter. I can see butterflies, I can see pink, I can see glasses, I can see Katie. I can see windows. You just start to label, because your mind then is completely distracted. It's just focused on the labeling that comes through your sight. You can also use labeling with more of your senses, where you close your eyes. So you could be out walking again, with walking, you'd probably want your eyes open, but you can sit down and label with sound. So you can just label all the sounds. You can then label feelings. So it could be, I hear a plane, I hear birds, but you wouldn't say I hear, you would say birds, plane, birds, water, breathing. And then you could change to touch, because you might be touching your leg, leg, hand, trousers, soft, bird. So again, you're just following this train of thought of labeling sensory things you can see, hear, feel, and touch, and maybe taste if you just had, I don't know, some water, squash, tea. And again, it's a really simple exercise that you can do anywhere. Obviously, if you're driving or anything like that, you don't want to be closing your eyes. So breathing, labeling. The other one is touch, which actually a lot of my clients love. All you need to do is you can just do 2 fingers like this, or you can start to rub like this. And the aim is just to focus on the touching, all the senses you can feel, and start to really connect with all the little cells that you can touch, the feeling of your skin, the warmth. Is it sticky? Is it soft? Is it hard? And just put your attention, again, 30 seconds, 60 seconds of doing this touching exercise. You can do it like this, or like this. Again, it's another mental fitness technique which quietens down your mind. So the breathing you talked about, the labeling I've mentioned, and the touch, all of them quieten the noise in your mind and then bring you back to that state. As you pointed out, the shift in state is so important, to be back in the driving seat, feeling calm, being in control, making clear decisions, having that strategic view, and feeling confident. Confidence is huge as a business owner.
It's true, isn't it? It goes back to, and again, these are things that sometimes we're not even aware of, these unconscious limiting beliefs, that we have about ourselves that are just sitting there and impacting our decisions on a day-to-day basis, but we're not even aware that they're there. So it's also, like you're saying, step 1, isn't it, is about having that awareness and that observation of myself and noticing how I feel at different points in the day. And then what is it that's the trigger to that change in my state, if you like? And then looking at how I can observe that, and then what are the things that I can be doing around that to support myself. And you've given us 3 of those really great techniques or solutions that people can use today. So as we, if you like, wrap up today's session, what are the key takeaways then that we want to get people to remember here? What are the 3 things?
Firstly, that you're powerful, because your subconscious brain is always listening. My kids always chant this back to me because I say it to them all the time. So know that your subconscious brain is listening, which makes you powerful. So talk to yourself in that positive way. I can, rather than I can't. I will find a way. I don't know how to do that yet, but I'm finding a way. So that positive self-talk, understanding that you have that sort of power, and also looking at your day, using that sort of mental fitness, mental rehearsal, visualization, looking at your day ahead and finding time in your day to do some of these exercises. And we're not saying do it for 2 hours. Try not to have back-to-back meetings. Try and have, maybe it's lunchtime that you're just going to commit to breathing for 5 minutes every lunchtime and notice how you feel. Set yourself up for success by making it easy. Try out the breathing, try out the labeling, try out the touch. And there's a lot of neuroscience and evidence and data to support all these things. So they're not sort of made up by me today. These things work and they improve how we show up day to day.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, what I'm hearing is don't underestimate that. Like you say, that power of self-talk. What you say to yourself today is going to shape your reality tomorrow. Success starts with you. And I love it. You've got the tools. We have the tools within us to succeed. And I love the kind of rewiring of your brain that you talked about there, that mental fitness, but also the visualization is super powerful, isn't it? And an effective way in which people can be working and supporting themselves. So Penny, thank you so much. Amazing. And I hope if you're listening to this session today that you're leaving with some really valuable insights and practical tools there that you can help to harness the power of your mind to give you more success and less stress. Again, what I'm hearing here is it's about being smarter and making sure that you're really keeping those positive thoughts in play. And if you do that, your progress will follow. So I really hope you have enjoyed today's call with us. If you'd like to leave a rating, please do that. We really appreciate it. If you want to hear a certain topic from us, pop a comment in the link below, and we will be back with you again on the podcast. So thanks for joining us today, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.